tend to improve ourselves, when we believe that there is still more room to learn something new, right? If I start believing that I know everything, then I will never try to learn new things. So very first thing is accept it that I know certain things and you may be knowing them very well also, but there are a lot many things which are there outside which can be learned to improve ourselves.
Personal development is a process that lasts for your entire life. It is a method of assessing your personal qualities and skills. Personal development also helps you to make some aims for your life, set goals, and maximize your potential. By performing this form of development, there are skills that you can gain so as to improve your prospects for employment, improve self confidence, and enjoy a better quality of life. Personal development also helps you to make life choices that are effective, positive, and relevant. Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Freak Folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, our guest will be Ms. Alpa Antani ma'am, who is here with us. She is an experienced international business professional with a demonstrated track record of working both in public as well as private sector, extensive experience in project development, government relation, and not-for-profit associations, analytical and problem-solving mindset, accustomed to operating in dynamic international environment with multiple stakeholders, a strong professional and an IIMA alumnus, recently have completed a doctorate in the international management and completed research on the role of chambers of commerce. So first of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Harish. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. It's our pleasure. So, moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen, is importance of self-improvement, no matter how old you are. Ma'am, my very first question to you is, or rather, it's a kind of request to you, ma'am. Please explain our viewers when we say self-improvement. How do you mean? What do you mean by self-improvement? In your opinion, what are the aspects of self-improvement?
Self improvement for me is either learning a new skill, a new talent, or upgrading your. It could be anything. It could be as basic as just learning to say drive a car, or
Right.
it could be something for your professional experience where I mean for professional expertise where you pick up a course which may help you in your professional life. So when you say self improvement, it is the first thing that comes is you want to learn something to improvise something within yourself, and this has to be a self motivated goal. It is not something which is pushed by someone or someone is guiding you that you need to do this and this thing to reach somewhere. But self improvising is something that comes from within yourself. That this is something
Right.
that I want to learn, or this is where I want to reach a certain goal. And to do that, I will need to acquire a certain kind of talent or skills. And that's why you try and work towards it. So that for me is improvising yourself, basically. Yeah.
Indeed, ma'am. I think you have very clearly explained what the self-improvement means. And as you have told that self-improvement can be anything related. It starts from you want to learn driving, you want to get up early in the morning. It can be that that also. Self-development requires change. Change is often uncomfortable for most of us. If the change that is required is very big, the resistance to it can be profound. It can hold you back from developing and result in a self sabotage. So, ma'am, my question to you is how one can fight, or what are the tips you use, or would you like to suggest to our viewers how to fight with internal resistance?
Any kind of change, whether it's to learn something or any kind of change that comes upon you, it's we always try to fight that. I mean, you even if you have a will to do something, but there's always sometimes it is say 5%, sometimes 2%, sometimes 10%, but there is some amount of resistance because it is
Correct.
change. You're coming out of your comfort zone. So when you are trying to, one is your own willingness. So you have to motivate yourself that you need to learn or you want to reach a certain goal and you need to bring about that change in yourself. And how can I mean how would I like to do it is when I was doing my doctorate. I'll give you my example. This was a doctorate, not a PhD, so I didn't really have too much of a support from the university. So if say I would take a 1 week break from my writing. Earlier, I started with great goals that every day I'm going to write at least for 1 hour or 2 hours, and then gradually it would start subsiding. Then 1 week I would also take a break. Then I had to push myself that no, if I do not abide to my routine, I will not reach the goal. And there were times when I would get laid back. So next day I would try and punish myself that okay, now today I need to do 2 hours because I missed it yesterday, or I would stay up in the night. But that was more of to tell myself that see, you had to go through this difficulty of keeping
Right.
yourself awake in the night because you did not do something that was supposed to be done yesterday. And of course it's all about self motivation. I also practice a little bit of meditation, yoga and stuff, so sometimes those things also help. But maybe that is not for everyone. But if I'm talking to somebody else, I think it is a if it's a self driven thing, you have to give yourself a push. You can't rely on somebody else. Like
Right.
for college going students, it may be that you have your examinations and your professors, your teachers, your parents may give you a push. But when you're trying to do something on your own, there's no one there going to give you a push. If you want to reach your goal, you have to do it, and you have to maintain a discipline. That's what I can say.
Indeed, ma'am. Again, you have given a very insightful answer. And I'm sure the viewers, those who are watching, they are surely going to find us insightful as well. Ma'am, my next question to you is when you have started something, when you decided to improve yourself, then one question which also comes here is that how do you measure yourself? How do you measure your self improvement? How one can measure that actually the changes happened or not? What are some tips you use for yourself and would like to recommend for all our viewers?
If I'm trying to work on bringing about a change in myself, it could be, as I at the beginning when I said, it could be like say learning to drive a car or riding a bicycle, or if it is academic, then obviously you get to know by your marks. But if it is something which is not academic and you're trying to say learn a new language, or you're just trying to improvise on your basic English. Your English may be good, but you're trying to. Sometimes I do that. There are some sites where I get some new words and I try and make sentences through it and see how I could use it in my regular communication. So the best way to see is that when I'm in my free time, when I was doing this word thing, I would check the mails or whatever I've been sending in last 1 week to see whether did I even use, if I've learned say 10 new words, did I even use one word from it in this particular communication of mine? Because if I've not used, then it's futile.
Yes.
So this is an alarm for me. If I've not used it, then I have to make sure that they will be used somewhere in my coming communication. Of course, if they have to be relevant. And if I've used it, then of course I have reached my goal. I'm trying to learn something and use it into my regular routine.
So we can conclude that it is means it depends upon totally on the activity which you are performing. You can see the improvement on yourself. Suppose in driving, you can check that if you are now.
Yes, exactly. So if I'm learning to drive, then what is the best way to know whether I've achieved my goals or not? That I regularly start driving it and I drive it nicely.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not hindering the people around me. I'm being careful of who's walking ahead of me. And I'm smooth in my driving and I'm not afraid of driving. That means that the day I reach there, that means I've learned it, right?
Correct.
So how else would you, other things you can, as I said, academic, you'll have marks and mark sheets for it. But other things that if I'm learning a new recipe, then I'll keep trying it every now and then till people who are eating and come and tell me that, yes, it was delicious, we really liked it. Then I've achieved it, right?
Yes. Ma'am, what we have seen is that motivation is a key factor in all of us life. To become successful in life, you need to exert effort, apply dedication, and be committed. To give this amount of attention to any one activity, you need to be fully motivated in it. In your opinion, what are the some best ways get motivated all the time? Is there any specific thing which you would like to share with our viewers? Sometimes people use books, sometimes they see podcasts, sometimes they watch movies. In your opinion, what are the best options to get motivated?
For motivation,
Yes.
for being motivated, everybody, see, for each one, it has to be something. It may not be the same for everyone, right? For somebody, it may just be reading a nice book that motivates them. It could be an author that they are very fond of, and when they read the books of those authors, they feel very good. For somebody, watching TV, as you just said, watching some movies and all also motivates them. for me, listening to the people who have been successful, or reading about some of the people who are, people who give this motivational talks, and who you call them the gurus in the jargon language and all that, the trade gurus and stuff. When I read about things that they have written, it does motivate me. And sometimes it's also the stories. What has really been motivating for me has been when I have read autobiographies of some people, and when I have read some, say, stories of people who really been through a lot of success never comes easy, because you always have to tread some path to reach there. It could be, and you always face some difficulty. Life is never going to be smooth for everyone. So when you're trying to reach somewhere, you always face difficulties, and how the people who have tackled those difficulties and reached a certain level inspires me and motivates me, that if they could do it, why not me? And when I was just talking about this, driving of the car and stuff, that was just an example. But I have just recently learned bicycle. And the day,
That's
yes, I never knew it. When I would look at other people, I would feel that I need to know it and I should learn how to ride a bicycle, but I never knew it. And balancing a bicycle is difficult. It's not really that easy, at least not for me at my age, is what I felt. But what motivated me is, sometime back I had seen an advertisement where a grandmom must be 75, 80 years old, and a grandchild is teaching the grandmother how to ride a bicycle. And the day I sat on the bicycle, I couldn't. In fact, I saw people are looking at me, and would they be laughing at me? And what struck me is that advertisement. That okay, if that lady at 80, she's a grandmother and she's learning with a grandchild, why can't I try it? And I could manage it. I learned it in, I say, not very smooth and crisp, I would say, but yes, I learned the bicycle riding in say 3 days or something.
Indeed, ma'am. I think you have given a very beautiful example for all of us, because in life we decided to we many things come to our mind, and we left things because we see that we people around that if we will do this, then what people will say. So I think we don't need to look to these people's. Only we need to concentrate on ourselves. Ma'am, actually, I have got two more sensitive questions, which is I think I previously tried to put this, but I never actually got to put these type of questions. But of course, these questions are not very much related to the topic. But I am asking this question. Everyone has a plan after achieving success, but if you fail by mistake, then how you need to deal with failure? No one talks about that. And there are one more line: your result doesn't decide if you are a loser or not, your attempt decides that. Actually, these are the lines from one Hindi movie which is very famous. So ma'am, what are some recommendation from your side to the young generation, to the generation of those our viewers, how they can deal with the failure in their life?
You just mentioned that sometimes you fail by mistake, but not necessarily. Sometimes you may be on the right track and you may still fail.
Correct.
And failure is a part and parcel, like at least you have tried it. So I would say that someone who has tried, and what is success? Success is what is in your mind, right? Success could mean different things for different people. What is success for you may not be success for me, and vice versa.
Indeed.
So when somebody has attempted something, they want to reach a certain goal, and they cannot reach that goal by walking on the path that they have adopted. And that's how they believe that they have failed. But for me, it is something that at least they've tried it. What if they would have not have tried? If they would not have tried, they wouldn't even have learned a lesson that this path was wrong, and
Indeed.
going on this path is not leading me to the goal so it's not success. It's about not reaching that particular decided goal. And you can try it again with some other path. You can try it in a different way. So it's not that every failure teaches you a lesson, and it's very important to fail in life, because I believe that somebody who has never failed is failing as a human being, because they will not learn the important lessons of life. They will never learn humanity, they will never learn humility, and they will never learn that failure is also a part and parcel of life. Only when you fail and you face difficulties do you learn the other soft skills also.
Indeed.
So it is important to fail and just take it in your stride and try again. That's it.
As I have said, ma'am, I have one more question. Do you think that we are so lost in thinking about winning, losing, success, and failure that we have forgotten about living life? The most important thing is in life is life itself, which we all have forgotten.
So that is more of, when you believe what, as I just said, success is different for different people. Now, for somebody, if it's a startup, then imagine that that business itself is the person's passion.
Correct.
So, for me, maybe watching movie or something is a peaceful time. But for a person who has dedicated a lot of things to that startup, for them, the initial few years are completely around that startup. So for them, that itself is the life. So if they are giving say 24/7 all their time to that particular startup, then for them that is only the life. For me, it could be that I need to go out with my friends or I need to sit with my family and have dinner. But for that person, just thinking 24/7 about his work is actually his life. So how have we really stopped living the life? It's about what you believe. If I believe that pursuing my passion or some pursuing, say, a hobby of mine or practicing yoga or going to the gym every day, is my life and it's very important for me in my life, only then it is important. Till I don't believe, until I do not accept that I need to do other things, yes. When we say that you are not living a life, is when you are living something to reach a goal. You want the goal, but you are not sure of the path that you've taken. When you're not sure and you're not happy with the path that you're walking on, you will never be happy and you will never believe that that is your life. And that's when the strain and the stress starts and you start thinking that, oh, I'm not living my life. Because imagine, no, for a startup is like a baby, right? So for a mother,
Correct.
24/7, her life is just around her children, and that is her life.
Indeed.
So for an entrepreneur business, which is starting up, is his life. So if he's giving 24/7 to it, for him, that is his life. It's for the people around him may feel that, oh, he's not sitting for dinner with us, or he's not going out for movies with us. So it's about your belief. But yes, if I am walking through a path, like I may be feeling that I am at a certain designation in a company and I need a promotion, and to do that, I need to do a certain kind of things, and I'm forcing myself to do those things, then I will start believing that, oh, I'm not living a life because I'm forcing myself to do something. So I think it's all in your mind. If you're pushing yourself to do something, possibly, then you believe that that's not your life and you're not living your life. But for somebody else who's just loving what he's doing, then whether they do it 24/7, they do it 6 hours a day, they do it 10 hours a day, that's what they love. And so they're happy doing it. So that's their life, right?
Indeed, ma'am. I was listening to you very carefully, and you have mentioned one very correct point, which actually I have also experienced is that when you are working or shaping the startup, it's like that you are nurturing a baby. So yes, it's the same process. We have to go for it, and if we consider in the case of baby, mostly work has been done by the mother's side. But in if we see the in startup kind of things, all the founders and all the teams they really work hard. So yeah, this is the best part, and I think this is the best part in which you will get many learnings. It doesn't matter what you have experience you will get. It doesn't matter whether you ended up becoming it was a failure or at least you should get some kind of experience. So that is the most important thing. Ma'am, my next question to you is actually I have got gone through your profile yesterday and found that one very interesting point. You have worked with both public as well as private sector. Ma'am, my next question to you is tell me one thing which you find interesting about public and one about private sector.
Interesting.
Yes.
Is that why I didn't hear you clearly? Okay. Um, I feel, you know what, because I have worked with both the different kind of sectors, I saw a different kind of culture in a public sector as compared to a private. There are more protocols to be followed. There's more discipline as compared to a private sector, which for the outside world, somebody who's not used to it may get overwhelming or may also get difficult. But I have had a good time, is what I could say. And in private sector, what you get is you get a lot more freedom to do things on your own. You can take quick decisions. In a public sector, you may have to wait for the line of protocol to get certain kind of approvals before you can get to do something that you really want to do, because there is a hierarchy and you have to wait for this is something that I have experienced. But if you ask me another thing, this is not an example. I mean, the first thing that I told you is your answer to your question, that how do I see that little difference between public and private sector. But here I wanted to specify is that the outside world perceives the private sector as a little laid back, or they believe that things are not moving at the pace that they should be moving. which in my answer also I said that yes, there are certain protocols to be followed, but because I've been inside both the systems, these protocols are for a reason, because the public sector is answerable to the public. The funds that are coming in are the taxpayers' money, and one mistake here and there, you are playing with people's life and the people's money. So it's very important to be very cautious of what you're doing rather than make mistake and let somebody else pay for it, because you're answerable to the public. It's not somebody's privately funded money and you're running a business. Whereas in private sector, it is, people get together, there's some funding happening and you're running a business. Whereas in private is the public money, so you're answerable to them in a lot many, and not just money. Even the things that you're doing is for the people, right? It's for the public. So you're really answerable to them in a lot many. So it's very important that before you take on a project to do something, the pre-phase is longer rather than repenting later if things go wrong. But later, once the approvals come through, the things really move fast. And so, as I just said, that it's the way the people look at it. The public sector is really working for the people, and this misconception should really go out. That they're really there to serve you.
I hope so. Ma'am, I can say there's a lot more to learn from you, but today I don't want to take too much of your time. So moving to my last question of this session, actually, it's not a question, it's just I'm seeking advice. What will be one piece of advice would you like to offer to me as well as the viewers who are watching this session, how they can focus on their self-improvement in this, because it's an age in which you can improve yourself maximum, I believe so. So what are the advice would you like to give?
I think there really is no age barrier for self-improvement, but the most important thing on self-improvement, because it is self-motivated, self-instigated. So the first thing is that you need to understand that you're not perfect. When do we tend to improve ourselves? When we believe that there is still more room to learn something new, right? If I start believing that I know everything, then I will never try to learn anything. Yes. So very first thing is accept it, that I know certain things and you may be knowing them very well also, but there are a lot many things which are there outside which can be learned to improvise ourselves. And basic things also in your life, I mean, it could be just bringing in discipline or just exercising, all those things also motivate you. They change the way you think, the way you interact with other people, the way you communicate in your regular work. Of course, academically, learning a new language or learning some new software, and whatever is required for your professional life, that is required. And that you definitely learn when you're in the work. You understand that I am at a certain level, and to grow or to go to the next level, experience alone is not necessary. I need to learn new skills. That is on the professional front. And on the personal front, of course, there's always room for more. No matter what the age, you may be 80, you may be 70, you may be 60, but still, I mean, tomorrow, if you see today's grandparents in this pandemic time, when they all had to, they had to do their bhajans and stuff also on Zoom meetings, where did they learn it from? From their grandchildren. So at that age also, I have seen people in my family, also senior people who never know how to send out emails. They all have an email ID now. They all have their Zoom IDs, and everybody's on Zoom. They're doing their darshans and bhajans and puja. Also, everything is on. So people who 15 years back would have thought that I would never need to learn technology, have today learned it. The pandemic has made it compulsory for everyone to learn it. So there's never an age. So my 80-year-old grandfather may also today be sitting on a Zoom meeting and listening to some pravachan or something somewhere. And a 10-year-old child is having an online virtual class also, say on a Zoom classroom or something. So that is
indeed, ma'am. So we can conclude that there is always a scope for improvement. And I think this is the major takeaway.
And there's always room to learn something more. So why stop yourself? Keep learning.
Indeed, ma'am. It was really very wonderful advice from your side and kind of healthy conversation with you on the topic. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and giving your important time. We look forward to conduct more such sessions with you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside.